Good morning. This is Julia Widdop with Talk Story TV, and I have with me this morning Amir Lakha, and he is the author of Heads You Win, Tails You Win. And hi, Amir.
Hi, Julia.
Tell us more about your book.
Um, I want to thank you for having me on the show. Um, the book is called Heads You Win, Tails You Win. It's all about human nature. It is a book that shows the readers how to be winners in life,
Uh-huh.
uh, whether everything goes their way, whether they are winners in the real sense, or even when things don't go as planned, they are still winners. It is a book about human nature, and when people actually read the book and understand what's in there, they will develop that sort of confidence in life and start thinking positive, which will help them to feel happier and have a sense of fulfillment. Um, it is a book that helps to understand human nature, and everybody deals with human nature day in, day out. So, is it not prudent to understand human nature, to be learn how to cope with it, and to succeed with the way human beings think? So it is a book that has a lot of positive vibes in it.
And how do you explain all the different personality types that you might have to cope with?
Um, they have to first decide that they want to be winners. There is a very distinct difference between a winner and a loser in life. Everybody comes in this world for 70 to 80 years and moves on. And they are learning all the time. Life is a school, life is a stage where they're playing different rules, different roles, and life is a game where you have a certain type of interaction with human beings. So your success in life or progress is determined by how you interact with them. So because everybody is different, some people are introverts, some are extroverts, this book actually explains how to handle other people, why other people behave the way they do. So when each individual type of personality, whether they are introverts, extroverts, they or they are type personality A, where they want to do so many things so quickly and they are perfectionists, they can then adjust to life and enjoy doing what they're doing. Whereas in the past, before reading the book, they might have experienced a lot of stress and they might have gone out of their comfort zone. But with reading this book, they understand how to handle problems. Whereas in the past, they would have said, oh, it's a serious problem, they would multiply it many times and look at it in a different light. After reading the book, they see things in more true perspective.
Uh-huh.
And and the other important philosophy this book brings is that you may have problems, but it doesn't mean that you are unhappy. So happiness and problems can coexist, and that is how life is meant to be. Problems have been there, are there, and will be there in everybody's life. Never say, I don't want problems, I cannot cope. You do not say that. You develop strategies of coping with the problems. And there are ways of coping with problems.
Yes. Wow. So what are some of those ways?
One of the ways is first to understand um, what the problem is, identify the problem, and break it into half and deal with it one step at a time. Secondly, You do not try to keep everyone happy all the time. You have to have an organized life. Everybody is a free person. Everybody is born a free person. You make your own decisions. Nobody is nobody's slave. When you do not make decisions yourself, you are giving control to whoever is making the decisions. And that is not right. You have to reach self actualization, which means you have to think independently. When you think independently and you think positive, there are higher chances you will achieve a lot more. When you think independently and you don't believe in yourself, your negative thinking, your low self esteem, then you cannot achieve as much. The most important thing is to have love for everyone, regardless of their gender, their culture, their color, race, religion. No matter what, do not ever have jealousy, malice, envy in your heart. Because when somebody has got jealousy in their hearts, in their minds, it is like poison that they are having. And before they can inflict some of their deplorable behavior on other people because they feel angry with them, before they can do it, they suffer themselves most. And when they suffer and they've got the poison in themselves, then they have less energy because of all the negative thinking. They have less energy to do any productive activities. Whereas if they think, they forgive, they have a lot of love for everyone, there is no stress, and they will develop much more positive thinking, much more positive energy.
Hmm.
So that is, those are some of the ways. There is a lot more there, Julia.
Are there any tests or anything in your book to tell you what kind of person you are?
Yes, I haven't gone into depth for type personality A, but I've mentioned in brief because I don't want to make it a very academic book because
Mhm.
I've tried to cover so many topics that I've not gone into depth with, say, personality or any other tests which I'm aware of, which can be mentioned, but I didn't want to go into too much there. But basically mention superficially about introverts, extroverts, personality type A, depressives, and that sort of thing. So, anxiety, the signs and symptoms of anxiety.
So you
The,
can kind of figure out if somebody is a depressed person or anxious by
yeah,
the symptoms. Okay.
and I've mentioned also that although I've mentioned all these symptoms and signs, because some of these symptoms and signs also are prevalent in some physical illnesses, it is very important for them to consult their family physician.
Okay. And what is your background? What inspired you to write this book?
I'm a medical practitioner. I was born in Mombasa, in Kenya, and I've been in England for the last 33 years. And I was a family physician and also a specialist in pain management. I've got a master's degree from University of Edinburgh in pain management. Um, I retired in 2009 when I reached 60 because I had planned that I wanted to do charity work. So ever since I was a young little kid, I have been a very caring person for everyone. And so I went into medicine, became a doctor, and I planned that I'm looking after the health of people, but there is much more to life than just health. So I said, I want to do charity work. So at 60, I retired, and I wanted to do something good for humanity, but I didn't know what to do. So I went around to India, to Pakistan, to Africa. I was born in Mombasa, Kenya, and when I was there, I thought that there are a lot of known factors here. Like I know the people, I know the language, I know the roads. So it may be easier to develop a model to help people. So I started working there for charity. I used to go almost every month from London to Mombasa and did research. Ultimately, I found that before you can actually start working for to help people, you've got to first find out what the real problems are.
Mhm.
So we did a needs assessment survey. So you find out how much they earn per day, whether they've got enough food, enough clothes, they've got clean drinking water, and safe sanitation. Uh, all those problems. What are they capable of doing? What is their occupation? And then we asked them, what sort of training would you like? And they told us. Then we did a survey, a feasibility and viability survey to find out why there is poverty here and whether anything can be done and whether we can do something. And if we can do something, what can we do? So we decided, okay, we have to have a center, we provide them with training. So I got a training center built there in Mombasa, just past the Likoni ferry. It's an island, so you got to cross the to the mainland, and about a kilometer from there, built a center worth about $250,000, and there we've got demonstration plots for livestock. We've got grade cattle, which produce milk. We've got goats, chicken, rabbits, guinea fowls, large fish ponds, agriculture plot, a large hall for 200 people to sit in and study, and two offices, three-bedroom, fully furnished house, all that. So we started training based on our findings through the uh, um, needs assessment survey as well as the feasibility and viability report. We train them in all these different things: agriculture, livestock farming, fish farming, computers, business,
Wow.
building construction. And then we did progress reports to see where they were based on the same parameters as how much they're earning per day and all. And we found 80%, 4% of those individuals who used to go to bed hungry night after night became successful. Their income increased. They said, now I've got this occupation. And that gives me fulfillment. So that is a project we've been doing it for the last 3 years. And uh, now I go there less often because it's developed now and
Mm.
it's moving. So, in addition to that, I write the book. I've written the first edition, which was launched at the Dorchester Hotel in London,
Mhm.
and now is the second edition, which we are talking about at the moment. Sorry to digress, but it's so dear to my heart, this charity.
I think you should do something on how tell retired people how. I think a lot of retired people do want to do something good now that they can have the time and but they don't know what to do.
That's true. And scientific studies have proved that those retired people who keep active mentally and physically have less chances of getting senile dementia or Alzheimer's disease. Because you keep using something, you don't lose it. So if you
Right.
don't use it, you lose it.
That's
So, uh,
yeah, that's
so
why I stay busy doing these TV shows.
So I also started a senior citizen center as well,
Oh,
near where I live, to help people to come there and enjoy talking to each other and different activities. But I don't want to digress. I mean, I could spend hours, and you've given me only half an hour, isn't it? So we'll just stick to that. We talk
yes.
about the.
Actually, we do these interviews for about 25 minutes because I add an intro and stuff to it. But so, do you have a website where you describe your projects?
Yes, we've got a website for the charity projects. We have got a website called www.hacot HACOT.org. HACOT stands for Humanitarian and Charitable One Trust. And then for the book itself, we've got a website as well, www.headsyouwin.com.
Okay. That's great. And what about you? Do you have a personal website that tells about you?
Yes, in fact, on the book website, there is a little bit about myself. But in my personal website, I haven't put too much about myself.
Okay. Okay. Well, would you like to hold up your book? Do you have a copy with you?
No, it's going to print.
Oh,
So,
it's going to print. Okay. And where
but
will it be where will it be available?
it'll be available through the website, and it can be ordered through the website, and payments can be made also through the website.
All right. Wonderful.
So the website, not to forget, www.headsyouwin.com.
All right. And what else would you like to tell us about the book?
I'd like to tell you further about the book. There are 7 chapters in the book. How many minutes have you got,
Oh,
Julia?
we have 10 minutes left, so we
Uh,
have plenty of time.
okay, so there are 7 chapters in the book. The first chapter is happiness, how to achieve it. Second chapter is happy and stable family and relationships. Third chapter is the concept and strategy to achieve economic wealth. Fourth chapter is what unemployment can do to individuals and the nation. Fifth chapter is the power game. Sixth chapter is one God, one religion, one race. And sixth chapter is a journey towards a peaceful, harmonious world. So I've tried to cover every aspect of human nature through different chapters. And where possible, I have mentioned research studies, scientific evidence, and explained why what I'm saying has got some sort of weight.
Hmm.
So uh, we have made efforts to convey a clear, concise, and unbiased views which are relevant to anyone who is a human being, regardless of what color, what religion, what race, what gender. It applies to everybody who is a human being. And uh, also, when you read the book, you can decide: do you want to enjoy this journey through this world, 7 to 8 years, or do you want to suffer and go? Do you want a signboard on your grave to say no regrets? Or do you want to say, oh, I still have a lot of regrets? When you die, you should be in a state where you say, I have no regrets. Now, you can only reach that state of no regrets if you have been good to people, if you had a lot of love, you have achieved what you wanted to achieve. First, you have to know what you want in life, and then you try to achieve it. And when you don't achieve it, there is a philosophy in that book to tell you that whatever you have done is not time wasted, energy wasted, or money wasted. You are a stronger and wiser person. So now you are more capable of handling so many other things which you may not have been able to handle of much more higher proportions. So that is the beauty of the book. Secondly, the first chapter clears the misconception about happiness, how the world sees happiness. I'll try to clear that and explain what true, genuine happiness is. And there is a research study which shows that those who are happy have healthy and long lives. It has been proved scientifically. So that is then in that first chapter of happiness, how to achieve it, there are a lot of information on the ingredients and guidance to achieve happiness.
Okay.
So that is just the first chapter, but we don't have time for talk about each and every chapter. But the happy and stable family and relationships, I've mentioned about the picture as it is today, which is vastly different from how it was in our forefathers' time, the way they were, and now. And we discussed the changing roles. Women are more educated and they are breadwinners now, whereas in the past they weren't. Things have changed. And mentioned about teenage sexual behavior, dating and courting, virginity, teenage pregnancies, out of wedlock births, details about cohabitation and marriage, uh, achievement and benefits of a happy and enjoyable marriage, how to have that, and the importance and benefits of sex, problems that can arise in a partnership and how to detect them, how to address the problems arising in the partnership, and the best course of action to achieve pregnancy, and divorce and its adverse effects on partners and children. So that is the second chapter. So I'll go on to because we haven't got time, I've talked about unemployment, what it does to individuals and their families, and what people are doing. And I mentioned about the careers that are in high demand, and I've talked about stress at work and ways of coping, and then power game, how leaders lose their power or become unpopular, and what makes a good leader, all the differences have been listed. Then the value of political skills, whether you're in business or in governing a nation, that has been mentioned.
And what are political skills exactly?
Political skills is the way to deal with human beings, to achieve the objectives, not dirty politics, but political skills in which you achieve your objectives. You must know your agenda and you try and achieve the successful conclusion of your agenda. That is political skills.
Okay.
So, religion, I mentioned that it has a lot of benefit for those who believe in religion. At the moment, what is happening is 50% of the people who used to believe in religion don't believe in any religion anymore. 50% of those who do still believe in religion, they do not attend any church or temple or mosque or places of religious worship. So the religion is losing its attraction. I've mentioned about the unity of God and why each one must respect others' religion. They may or may not agree with the beliefs of other religions, but they must respect each other's religion. And what must not happen and what is not acceptable is to cause harm or injury to people of other religions just because they have different beliefs. That is not acceptable. Even every religion you take, they does not preach harming or violence towards others. There is sanctity of life. Then the final chapter is the changes that have taken place in the last 1 century. I've mentioned how it was a century ago. And you reach,
It's
you
very
can't,
different now.
you can't believe it. It's unbelievable. In 1 century, things have changed so much. But
I,
it's great. People were very unhappy, miserable, and there's a lot of lawlessness, aggression. And there is a solution, but it will come slowly.
Wonderful. Well, it sounds like a very helpful book to have. Um, and you've told us how to get it. Is there anything else you'd like to tell us before we wrap up?
No, I want to thank you for having me on the show once again. And I hope those who really need this book will be able to read it, understand it, and benefit from it.
And do you know what the book will cost?
Not at the moment, but we are trying to keep it as reasonable a price as possible so a lot of people can afford. Because I am aware At the moment, it's not easy to earn money, and the expenses have gone up. And the very people who need to read that book may not be able to afford it if the price is high. So we'll
Good.
keep it very reasonable.
Okay, and again, that website is heads you win, tails you win
Com,
dot
com.
com. Okay, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you, Julia. All the best.